right now you in her way. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
Of the sun.
Of the sun, yeah. I'm
ready. No, little tanning session. Yeah.
All right.
Bye, baby. That my best friend. She a real bad bitch.
Hey everybody, it's your girl KT, your favorite publicist, and we're back with another video. So today's video is actually totally different than the regular setup, and I am going to be introducing something new to the channel. So I actually saw my fellow YouTuber Erin on Demand do this. So if you guys are not following her, you should really go follow her on YouTube right now, because she is a beast at entrepreneurship and content creation. So really highly recommend you guys go follow her. And I saw her release these videos called PodVlogs, and you actually walk through a day in her life, but she talks about various topics, and I thought that was just so genius, because that actually takes a lot of pressure off of people who actually want to do a podcast but don't have the means or ability to do so. So like I said, I was very inspired when I saw this, because one, if you guys know, I've always been in the podcast realm when I used to do it back with my ex, and I really loved creating the content of podcasts that could really inspire people, even if they just hear the sound of my voice. So other than that, this is one of the ways I wanted to contribute to you, and also show you guys some video aspect of not just hearing me sit down and talk all the time. So without further ado, this is a new content concept that's coming to the channel that is titled PodVlog, Hustle Her Way. So I always admire people's hustle and all that kind of stuff, and I really want to showcase and show you guys, my audience, what I hustle about, topics that talk about hustling and just the mindset behind it, and then also just some daily things that we can talk about that you need advice on. So basically, like I said, this pod vlog is to be an inspiration to all my women to keep going, whether that is someone that is in corporate or someone that's in entrepreneurship. So today's topic of the pod vlog is trust the process. So I know we hear about trust the process all the time, and what does that mean? What does that look like? So I am going to share a story with you guys about how I trust the process. And even though sometimes I am very hard-headed about trusting the process, because I am one of the ones who need to know what's going on at all times and how does this relate to any other thing that's going on in my life. But we're going to talk about it. So like I told you guys, I am one person who questions the process all the time. As many of you guys know, if you heard my story before, this wasn't the process or journey that I chose for myself. If it was left up to me years ago, I would probably be on the path of becoming a doctor and probably be miserable at that time. So if you guys don't know or have not heard my story 50 million times by now, I actually started college as a biology pre-med major. I know y'all probably thinking like, swerve, come on, Key. Like, KT, you telling me you use biology pre-med? Biology pre-med. So I actually did not start my college journey at University of Alabama at Birmingham like I tell everybody. So I actually started my journey at Xavier University in Louisiana, so in New Orleans, Louisiana. Yes, I was a transplant baby that decided at college I was going to leave home, because I was a very shy person, and I just had to get out of Birmingham to get out of this shyness, because I figured if I would have stayed in Birmingham my first year, I probably wouldn't be where I am today. So that's kind of part of trusting the process, right? Yeah. I mean, even though you think about, I changed my whole major, and we'll get into that in just a few minutes. But like I said, literally transplanted my life, didn't know anybody in New Orleans, and just decided on a whim, because I just wanted to get out and had a scholarship to go. That's where I was going to go. So literally met friends, had a time of my life, and gained so much weight because of the great food that's in New Orleans. If you guys been, you know what I'm talking about. And so decided to actually transfer to UAB because my mom was actually getting sicker. She had a lot of health issues, and I kind of wanted to be closer to the family, and I kind of saw how it was taking a toll on her physically and mentally, because her little girl decided to go off 5 hours away from home, and she would call me out all the time. I can tell you a story that I ended up not going to class one day because it was canceled, and she had the campus police come knock on my door for a welfare check because I missed her phone call. So I really realized I probably shouldn't be putting her through as much stress it is going to college. And like I said, I was the baby of the family, of knowing that I was this shy person and very green at the time. So I had a lot of book smarts, not a lot of street smarts at the time. So decided to transfer back home to be closer to the family and help out more. So I got on this journey of not actually loving my major. And that was something that was very shocking, because like at Xavier, I love biology, was doing very well in chemistry, all that kind of stuff. So when I got back home and got into my classes, mind you, let me tell you, had to kind of redo my freshman year, because no one tells you that even though it's the same class, most PWIs do not get their credit hours from HBCUs, so they don't match up, and you might have to redo your whole year like I did. So, great thing to realize once I finally unenrolled myself from Xavier and came to UAB, but hey, that's here or there. We're on the trust in the God's process, right? That's exactly what I did. So I began to hate my classes, y'all. When I tell you classes just wasn't classing, it was not sticking with me the way it was at Xavier. And I just really went on a tangent of trying to figure out what best way I could get to med school, because that's what I talked about my whole life when I found out about being a doctor. So I was like, okay, maybe I can change my major to kinesiology and go about it that way. Still could not stay in my classes and wasn't doing as well as I wanted to, or what would look great for med school applications. So I had to be real with myself and figure out what I wanted to do and how I was going to get there. And like I said, I really didn't know what to do, so I just trusted my gut instincts, or what I would say is God's intuition at that time, because I didn't know what to do, y'all. So ultimately, the summer right before, the winter season right before my junior year, so this was probably first semester of my sophomore year, my mom actually ended up passing away. Very tough to deal with, because I already went through the whole process of losing a parent when I was 10. And so now coming through to terms now that I've lost my only living parent is already tough enough. And then I'm already dealing with the fact that this was kind of her dream for me. So like I said, I was in a tizzy in December going into January, and it wasn't until I was actually at the funeral home, and nobody knows this, but I was literally about to not go to school January just to take a break, because like I said, dealing with that, then dealing with the fact that I'm not enthused by these classes and I'm not doing as well as I need to for med school applications, like that was hard for me. And so literally talking to one of the, I guess you could say he was a preacher, but he kind of dealt with the embalming situation. So talking with him, and he kind of said something that kind of spooked me, and I could know that this was only God kind of speaking through him, because like I said, I hadn't told anybody specifically that I was going to take a semester off or, delay anything. I literally, was saying this in my head, like, I just can't do it. And he turns to me while we're there, and he was like, you shouldn't stop not going to school because it is. And I'm just like, who told? I know I ain't say this while I was here, so who told you this? Y'all, I promise you I was busting at the seams, because I was like, oh my God, like my sister knows that I'm actually thinking about this, and I really wasn't trying to think about any of this. But I can honestly say trust in that process at the time and keep going, because probably looking back, I probably wouldn't have went back to school, because I was just in that moment of I didn't want to deal with anything. Like, I just lost my mom, so I really wasn't even thinking about working or school or anything. So I just wanted to sit in those feelings. So trusting the process of understanding that, and then now trying to figure out, okay, so what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. Literally went to my college counselor in the School of Arts and Sciences in biology and told her I wanted to change my major going into my junior year. She thought I was crazy. Literally. And I'm telling you, it was nothing but God that kind of told me to go change my major, because I'm just like, I was going to struggle through it and not be happy and probably not serve people the way I should be serving people in the capacity that I am in now. So literally just went in, I was like, I'm changing my major. She thought I was crazy, because literally I told y'all it was my junior year. I've already deferred graduation by a year because of my credit hours, and now I'm telling her I want to change my major. She was crazy. She told me I was crazy, and I was like, no, ultimately, if I'm not fulfilled with what it is now, I know I'm not going to be fulfilled then. So by that point, she just stuck me in general studies, because she's like, I can't be bothered. You're not going to go to med school. You're not a biology major anymore, so I don't have to counsel you. That's exactly how that whole situation went. So I am literally just taking classes at this point to keep my status of a full-time student. So yeah, ended up meeting with an advisor later on this semester, because I just ended up, finishing out my classes, and was telling her, hey, this is the situation. I just don't know what to do. Literally lost, because I didn't know any of the professions that I really wanted or really enjoyed, because I had my heart set on being a doctor, and it kind of correlated with, my dad passed away from cancer, and that's the reason kind of why I wanted to be a doctor, so no one had to go through what I had to go through, and all that kind of stuff, which was very noble at the time, but I didn't realize that probably really wasn't my dream. Yeah, so literally took a personality test with her that day. And, things that I knew, reading, creative writing, all that kind of stuff started to pop up in the thing. And I'm just like, what kind of career can you get out of this? Because nobody, like I said, where I'm from is always something in the medical field or mining, or, we were very well known for steel. So stuff like that. Or a lawyer or a nurse. So it's like no one tells you about the various careers that you can have, because a lot of people don't know about them. So I literally saw this thing called public relations, and I was like, so what is that? And so she begins to tell me, and I'm just like, sis, I don't know about this. So what she did was she was like, okay, just take the intro to PR class. It'll still count for credits because I haven't finished up all my free electives yet. Because if you don't know, if you're a biology major, you're automatically a chemistry minor. So I was taking all the hard classes first, and I didn't finish up my electives yet. So literally my junior year, I was able to take this intro to PR class, and my counselor was like, okay, if you enjoy it, kudos, we'll figure it out. If not, we'll go back to the drawing board. So I'm nervous because I'm just like, everything is riding on this class if I enjoy it or not. Like, my whole existence at this point is literally tethered to the fact that if I don't enjoy this class, I don't know what else to do. So literally walked in. So the professor at the time, I actually met with her just a couple weeks ago, and it's very funny because she remembers this day to the best of her ability of me looking very lost when I came in class. And Dr. Shea told me, she was talking about PR, and she was talking about how she was, she used to be a lawyer. She used to work at Bell South. If you don't know what Bell South is, you are very young and probably should not. I'm just playing. Bell South is an old telephone company, guys. Little nugget of knowledge right now. So, and she just started talking about PR and talking about campaigns and talking about branding, and stuff was clicking, y'all. Like, I could write out a paper and it's just like, get A's on it, go to other communication class, and it actually stuck to me of, oh crap, this is probably what you need to do for the rest of your life, because you enjoy it. You enjoy seeing people happy with their branding. You enjoy talking to people. Far cry from the shy girl that we talked about just 3 years before, but literally was very, very impressed with the whole situation. When I tell you, straight A's and B's from that point, we're going up at this point, and I'm talking about research papers and everything. So literally ended up landing an internship at my school, and fell in love with the whole process there because I was hands-on. And like I told you guys, was that doing that and also working overnight. But it didn't feel like work, and that's probably the biggest reason why I stick with PR and communications, because at the end of the day, it does not feel like work to me. As much stuff that I go through in my career or in my job or as an entrepreneur, it still does not feel like work to me with actually working on client stuff or working on press releases and stuff. It's literally just fun to me. So another part of trusting the process is trusting the process even when you think you figured out the process, because there are many curveballs that can come about life. And as you guys know, I talked about this on the various other videos. I thought I was a shoo-in to get a job right out of college. Like, you can't tell me I'm not the stuff, because I've done agency work, I've been remote, I've learned all this stuff. I am at UAB's PR internship and doing things like writing stuff, and it has my name on it. You can't tell me I'm not doing nothing. Until I realized that didn't matter to people when I was looking for a job. Like, okay, you did this, and what else? And I felt so defeated at that time, because I'm just like, I cannot believe that I did not think about this. Like, life after college, I'm thinking I'm finna have a dream life. I'm finna be an account executive. This is how I knew I was delusional. Ain't no way I'm finna jump from an intern to account executive. But in my mind, I was gonna do that. And live out this dream life, maybe move out of Alabama and just figure it out. Y'all, sister girl was at the hotel front desk, front center, Monday morning after graduation. doing nothing that had nothing to do with PR. And literally was broken because it's just like, I did everything that people told me to do. So why am I not seeing the growth? Why am I not seeing this? So needless to say, I trust the process. So when I felt called to apply for something, I applied for it. When I felt like gaining this client, I went after it. So really, I can only contribute my career success in anything in life of trusting the process, of being out of myself, of taking a step back and letting God take the wheel. Because let me tell you, trusting the process got me to being a PR manager at my city's police department. Y'all, delusional again. Where in the world? I don't know nothing about law enforcement. I have almost been here almost 2 years, and I have not ran for the hills yet. Literally trusting the process, because I did not apply to this job. I know y'all probably like, well, how? I did not apply to this job. Literally how I got this job is I applied for a position as a PR manager in the city. The city sent out my application to all departments within the city that needed a PR manager. One place called, then the police department called. Literally exactly how it happened. Was scared out of my mind because I didn't know what I had done for the police department to call me. And darn sure wasn't thinking about that this was supposed to be a job, because like I said, I didn't apply for it. And literally trusting the process of, God, if this is really for me, let this be as effortless as possible. Because let me tell you, even after the application process, and that's a whole nother situation in itself, I was still on the back burner about doing it. Like, I was talking to people, I was like, y'all, I got an interview, but I don't think I'm finna do it. Well, why not? Because it's the police department. Duh. And two, I'm literally jumping from an assistant position, even though like I've done a lot of freelance, to a manager's position. And I know it ain't nobody else that's gonna be up there that's a regular civilian, so that means I gotta be over a police officer. Literally, y'all, scared out of my mind, because I didn't know what that really looked like. Their other PR manager was gone, so it wasn't like I could ask her or, ask anybody how that situation went, or, know anybody that worked relatively to the police department that could tell me that. So literally went in for an interview, did not know I was interviewing with the chief of police at the time. Literally went back to work, sent a little thank you note. Later on, got a phone call. And literally knew that trusting the process of asking God to make that as effortless as possible was me trusting the process. That in turn gave me this whole situation of being 28. Literally, I started when I was 28 of leading the whole public information division, being a spokesperson at 28 for a major department. Y'all, I really think back and just think, if I didn't trust the process, there's no telling where I would have been. I probably, not to even be funny, I probably would still be at the airport looking crazy. And as much as I love the airport, I probably wouldn't be as further along in my journey if I didn't trust the process of listening to God when he told me to move. So literally, I'm telling you, trusting the process could be so scary. It could be you not knowing what tomorrow looks like. That could be you stepping out on faith about something. That could be you just taking the leap and courage of, applying for a job or applying for graduation, or taking that next step like I did with changing your major halfway through your college career. And it's so crazy that if I had not done that first step of trusting the process then, there is no telling where I would have ended up, and there's nothing that probably would have prompted me to be as happy as I am now. Don't get me wrong, we have our days. We have our days, but to know how of a blessing and an inspiration I can be to others, that led me to doing pageantry, that led me to content creation. This ultimately led me here of doing this pod vlog and being an inspiration to others when I didn't have that inspiration. So, needless to say, trust. I know you guys keep hearing me say this, but it's nothing else I can say. Trust the process. Trust your gut instinct. That gut instinct is most of the time God's way of telling you you're either on the right path or that you need to follow the path that is laid before you. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed this pod vlog. Let me know if you really enjoyed these, because I actually love doing these. Actually, I feel like I'm just talking to my sisters right now, and I really enjoy that. Like, that's what podcasting brings to me. So maybe we'll figure out how to do this more often. But like I said, this is the very first episode. Again, pod vlog, Hustle Her Way, trust the process. Like, comment, subscribe, and let me know if you guys enjoy this. So I will see you guys in the next video. As always, bye y'all.